Hey guys, we are back for another awesome episode. We're really excited to get our special guests on tonight. So we have brought some reselling mums over to talk about reselling on eBay, some of their challenges and some of their successes and advantages of being working from home.
Mum life.
Obviously, it's not something that we're familiar with no kids. So we thought we'd get the experts on to give us a little bit of a rundown of what their life is.
And to tell us about what they have coming up.
Yeah, because there's some cool stuff happening in the community, and these guys are definitely at the forefront of it. So without sort of any further ado, we'll get them up and get them talking about what's happening for them. Let's see if we've got everyone. Looks like we've got hey Sam,
hey guys,
hey Charlie,
hi.
And I think we've got Robin dealing with some of the kids at the moment.
Being a mum.
Hi, sorry. Having a meltdown. It's really fun.
That's what it's all about.
What being a mum is like.
Real life.
We'll do a quick spin around before we say good day to everyone in the chat. We'll start with Sam and then head down to Charlie and Robin. So, Sam, give us a quick rundown of your current status. Your kids, you're sort of doing a bit of work as well, plus eBay. So, give us a bit of detail.
Hey everyone. Sam, 5 kids, 4 of whom are still at home. I work an on-call media management job, week on, week off, outside of business hours, and then I resell full time.
That's a busy schedule. She just kind of brushed over it like it was nothing.
Yeah. But, here's what it is.
5 kids is a handful on their own, let alone everything else you're doing. So we'll probably dive into that a bit later. But thanks for joining us tonight. It's great to have you on again. Obviously, we've had you on here and there with the $5 challenge, but always good to have you on and talk a little bit more about yourself. Charlie, so you have been pumping out videos left, right, and center, and I'm struggling to keep up. I had to watch a couple on the way back from work today because I don't want to miss any of my Charlie feel. But give us a little bit of an overview of your life as well.
I'm Charlie. I have 3 kids and I resell part-time, full-time, depending on the week. And I've also just started to put out some YouTube content just for the fun of it.
I am enjoying them actually. It's kind of like an insight into how busy your guys' lives are, and obviously it's really hard for me and Jazz to understand that because we don't have kids and we don't have that constant people around our feet and getting in the way and sitting on things and throwing tantrums like yeah. So we're lucky we just have the cat trying to scratch our eyes out, not the kids as well. So
pretty dangerous.
Yeah, a little bit into that a bit later. Robin, you're currently experiencing mum life first.
Okay.
So,
I'm going to have to just go for a minute. I'll.
We can tell you about Robin. Do you want us to tell you?
Yeah, go ahead. We'll drop Robin out till she's ready.
So Robin lives in Queensland and she has 2 kids, 9 and 5. That's the 5-year-old in the background. He knows everything there is to know about dinosaurs. He's fantastic. And she's been selling, Charlie, I think, for about 3 or more years. So she's actually the most experienced. Yeah, she's the most experienced out of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember.
I did your intro, Robin.
Because no matter how well you plan things, no matter if you do bath times, everyone's fed. He's still not happy. He wants the iPad louder. But thank you for introducing me.
That's well, you're welcome, and we understand. That's the real life of it, isn't it? And you guys know that, and you've seen it in Charlie's videos over the last few days, sort of filming, and then kids getting in on the filming, and then trying to manage all the stress of life. So I think that's what we wanted to talk about tonight. Obviously, there's challenges, there's positives, there's advantages of working from home as well. So we've got a little bit of a sort of structure tonight, and we'll sort of try and drag you guys in and get some of your input as well. So we sort of wanted to know, firstly, how did you guys find each other? Because obviously the reselling community is growing and growing, and finding people that you gel with and get along with and have the same sort of drive, I think, is the biggest part of reselling, and it can really drive you to become better because you're not just sitting in your own little bubble. So how did you guys find each other? And are we expanding the mum group here, or what's happening?
I seek them. I recruited Sam and Robin.
Yeah, she did.
So that's my superpower, is I'm really good at connecting with people and connecting people. And when I first started reselling, it was when Clodagh was about 4 or 5 months old. And I thought, I've seen you guys and I've seen plenty of other single people doing it. And I thought, where's the mums? There has to be some sort of mums doing this. So I found Sam on Instagram, and then I found Robin on Instagram. And we just started talking. And this is going back, God, over 1.5 years ago. Then I started a Reselling Mums group on Instagram, and I just started to get to know a few other mums. It's a private group because it's for mums only. And then I'd start talking to people, get to know them, and see if they were the right fit for the group of the ladies that I have in that group. And yeah, and we've all been chatting back and forth for over 1.5 years.
Wow.
And how important is that for you to have like-minded people around who understand?
Yeah, I need that. Otherwise, it's a lonely game. Like, if you're at home all day with kids doing this, and just to bounce ideas off each other. Like, if I've got an idea about something, I'll go to Sam and Robin and Donna as well. She's another one that I go to a lot. Yeah, just to have people to speak that are on the same level as you, because we can talk to people all day long, but we can't work 12 hours straight on eBay. We can maybe do an hour here, an hour there, 20 minutes in the afternoon. It's a little bit of a different game for us.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's interesting, and like listening in on your chats over the last couple of weeks has been sort of like eye-opening for me, like the difficulties and then the advantages as well. So it's been cool to see that side of it. And I think you guys have nailed a market that was sort of a bit of a gap there, and you guys are starting to fill it with your Thursday chats. So that's really cool to see you guys take that step out. And was it something you guys have been thinking about for a while, or was it something that just popped up and you thought, let's give it a crack?
No, we've talked about it for maybe about 6-7 months.
Go
Yeah, I think we mentioned it, like every time we were having chats, we were like, oh yeah, we should do this because this would be cool to like involve other people, because we kind of bounce ideas off each other and like, should we do this, and let's do this, and we just thought it would be really good for other people to hear that as well.
Yeah.
And we're quite different. Like, as much as we obviously get on really well, and you know, I talk to these lovely ladies every day, but I think we are quite different in the way that we do certain things, and that's really, really useful, because you can test things with each other, or it's more like Charlie and Robin on one side and me on the other, but you know, like you can still And I think with our Thursday chats, we were like, we just want more of that. So that's why we're not pretending, we'll talk about it later, but we're not gurus, and we don't want to be. It's that, well, I do it this way, how would you do it? And let's all talk about it. And
and they all work. All the different ways work, don't they? Like, you don't have to I don't have to do international post in order to have sales.
Yes, you do.
I will point out that we've had about 5 in the last week, Robin. So we'll keep pushing that for you. And me and
I did put one thing on international post.
No, there you go. You are right. International is not for everyone, and everyone has to run their own business that works for them. And I think that's what you guys embody really well. Is, you know, there's things that you're willing to try, and there's things that you know isn't really suitable for your business. The way, you know, you've got other things on your plate. You can't always be going to the post office and filling out those forms. If you use My Business Post, adding that extra time into your day. So I think it is important to recognize that. And I think by you guys talking about it sort of puts things into perspective for us as well, because we're like, you know, this is what works for us. And that's always what we're trying to preach on our channel. But that might not work for everybody. So it's kind of like bringing it back to basics and explaining that things can be done different ways, but they can still work. So
the other thing is, as a reselling parent, like working from home, there's very different stages, and we are in 3 very different stages. So all my kids are at school during the school day. Robin's youngest does 5 days a fortnight, Robin. Yeah. And Charlie has a cyclone of an 18-month-old. So we're at really different stages too in parenting, which that has a big impact on how you resell.
Yeah. I think that's a very good point, because there are like people, you know, with older kids and stuff that, you know, maybe it doesn't impacts differently, I suppose. So I think that's important.
It impacts less.
Yeah. Let's just say a quick hello to chat, because we have ignored them so far. If the chat has any questions for the lovely ladies tonight, drop them in. We'll try and pick them up as we go. We've got a bunch of people in, really looking forward to the chat tonight. So we've got Danica in.
Hi, Danica.
Treasures. We've got Grant and Lee, who I believe aren't too far away from Sam currently. So
About 3 meters. Yep.
might be crashing. Kat's in the house. Good to see you. Kara's here. Always looking forward to the reselling mum chat. Kara's talking about it all the time. Charlie, I don't know, he's in the chat.
I'm just everywhere.
Same with Sam. Recommerce Dave's here. Mossy, Tommy's joined us from the US. Unfortunately, he didn't make the president, so we'll have to try again next year. We've got Donna here as well. Jazzy's auntie's in the house, and mum as well.
And we have some dads.
We have some dads joining us. Flipper, good to see you, mate. Rack Raiders. Adam is an American in Australia. Beck King, Tamara. I'll try and crash through because there's a bunch of people. She Shops, Op Shops.
Op Shops.
Yeah, that was a hard one. Who else we got? We got Deb. Good to see. Aaron Meadows. Oh man, there's a bunch of people. I'm just going to scroll to the bottom. I think Phoebe, Murray's house. Jennifer, Oz Riley. Bunch of people.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks everyone for being here. I won't sort of say hello to everyone. Look, Bum's here and Erin as well. But thank you all for joining us. I know you guys were all keen to see the lovely ladies with us tonight. So thanks for coming. If you do have questions, drop them in. We wanted to know a little bit more about you guys. So obviously a lot of your show is about your kids. So you always open it up talking about how many kids you have, to that, but we very rarely hear about you guys because you're always selfless and you're always talking about kids. So I want to know a little bit more about you guys as resellers. So Sam, I know that you were working full-time up until recently in a quite respected job, I guess you'd say, but you decided to take a step back from that to better your life. So I want to hear a little bit about that and sort of what that decision process was to sort of push you in that direction.
Yeah, so I'm pretty open, and my daughter knows I'm pretty open about the fact that my eldest daughter had some really serious mental health struggles in her younger teen years, a lot of self-harm and all that sort of stuff. So parenting got really real, I guess, and I guess all of that together over a couple of years just completely changed my perspective. So I was always a really career-oriented person. It was really important to me. I've always worked really hard, pop out a baby, go back to work, pop out a baby, go back to work. And it just probably took me a bit too long to work out that, we talk about juggling balls and work is a rubber ball, it bounces. Kids are a glass ball and they don't. So, and I've now got 3 teenage daughters and 1 preteen daughter. So we are in those big years where they need their mum. And I'm here and they're here and we set ourselves up for it and then decided that the sacrifices were worth it. And the sacrifices really just are financial. My ego has to adjust a little bit. I had to redefine myself, and that's been interesting. But really, it was just a matter of setting our priorities, and we wanted less stress in our lives. We wanted more time. Hi, Billy. Yeah. And look, that was the end of May that I left work. So I'm sort of 6 months in, and so far so good.
Yeah,
well. We're happier. We're happier in my house. We're calmer. We're happier.
That's the
Yeah, I think it's very easy to sort of look back at that and go, yeah, that was an easy decision. But I'm sure at the time it was quite difficult and a challenge to sort of go, how are we going to, make ends meet and make those decisions. Yeah. And that's something that's sort of us on a different level. Obviously, we don't have the kids or the, that struggle, but financially we still have, a big debt on both our houses. So trying to work out what's going to work for us and what our future looks like is kind of the same sort of toss-up of we can make it work, but we have to cut back our lifestyle. So, it's making those changes and whether that's going to be beneficial to, my mental health long-term and probably Jazzy's as well. So
you're going to be happier.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm super excited for your future, Sam. And I'm sort of glad that you're able to say that now that you're happy in what you're doing, because I think that's a part of life that sometimes we forget. We just get stuck in these routes of, working hard, working and trying to, go up the ranks or whatever it is. We forget what life is really about, really. And I think as bad as COVID has been, it's probably opened a lot of eyes to that as well, because you're spending more time with your family at home. You're sort of defining what the real important things of life are. So
Yeah, that's exactly what She Shops is saying in the chat.
yeah, so identify with what you say, Sam. COVID helped me make us reevaluate.
And you know, like they say, it can take a crisis, and it's just unfortunate. And like, I'll get upset if I talk about too much, but I'm sorry that we got that far with our daughter, that it took that long. But as a parent, you end up in these situations, and you don't know what you're doing. Like, you make it up as you go along. And I had Charlotte. I had my eldest at 25, and so I don't have many friends who have children her age either. Because I had her fairly young for my circle. And you do sort of just make stuff up as you go along. But the beauty of it is you do learn, and you go, all right, you know, and if we go through this similar situation or whatever in the future, at least I'm there. I'm there all the time. I watch everything now. I've got time, and I don't have the mental load of my job. So even when I was at home, I was still carrying that mental load. And I had a job where I got contacted out of hours a lot. I don't have that now. And the job that I do have now is so contained. There's no stress, and it's contained in hours. And if it ends tomorrow, that's fine.
Yeah.
What a feeling.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
it's great. It's really good. It's so worth it for me and for my family. Yeah.
When you said, you know, you learn as you go. Unfortunately, they don't come with a handbook when they arrive. So I know my sister's got 2 young kids, and 4 and 2 on Friday actually. So we're taking some time off on Friday to go spend with them and their family. So I've sort of seen a little bit of it secondhand, I suppose, about some of the challenges of having small kids around. I've seen it on a very small level, so I can only imagine what the day-to-day life is.
Right now.
What's that?
You can see it right now.
But then they go to sleep, and they're so beautiful.
While they're sleeping.
Charlie, let's hear a little bit about your life as well. So we've seen a little bit of an insight into your life over the last week now with your day-to-day videos, which has been awesome. And I will say that your tip on the Dyson vacuums was something for me that I hadn't thought about for quite a long time. So thank you for that tip. Let's talk a little bit about your life. So obviously you've got the kids in tow, but what is your life outside of that? Like, obviously probably keeps you busy a lot of the time, but what about you? What's your story?
So I'm not from here, so I moved over here 13 years ago, and then I met my husband. We moved to where we are now, which is up the Central Coast, and I became a property manager. So I was a property manager for 5 years. Then in not my last property management job, but the one before Clodagh, I got pregnant with Clodagh, and I realized then at that point, because there's a 10-year gap between Clodagh and Aoife, my boss there was just nasty. And I thought, you know what, I actually don't want to work for someone else anymore. I don't want to do that. I want to do my own thing. So I got into reselling. And then I went back to, when I decided to do reselling, I knew I was going to do it full time, but I wasn't ready to do it full time. So I went back to work at another real estate agent, and that place was just amazing. My boss there is absolutely fantastic. And I did it for 9 months, and I thought, I need to start saving money. I need to pay my credit card off. I need to get my car paid down and just set myself up so that I'm able to go into reselling full time without the stress of having to pay a lot of things off. We still have the mortgage and that over our head. My husband, he works full time. But apart from that, that's pretty much me. Apart from going to archery on a Thursday night and hanging with Sam once a month and stuff like that.
Well, I saw a couple of you ladies got down to Sydney today, so we will discuss that in a minute. But I think that is an important part of, you know, trying to make time for yourselves and trying to make connections with people that have the same sort of challenges that you have as well. So, Robin, if you've got a chance to speak about yourself, which this is what happens when you're a parent. Let's hear a little bit about you, Robin. I do remember when we first started reselling, you put out a couple of videos, and then you kind of stopped for a little bit, and obviously doing other things. But tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, and I think the reason we always talk about our kids is that it does take up most of our life at the moment, and I think that might be a good topic for one of our next conversations, is what we can do for us, because we don't really get much done. So, okay, Trinity, I am on here. You can't. Sorry, this is just. Okay, take the charger. Sorry.
I love how real Robin is.
This is the challenge.
That's Trinity. Hey, look.
Hello.
We need another one. This is Robin's real life.
We said this is why we do our show during the day, because at night time anything can happen.
Go away. So where do I start? I was born in 1979. Okay, so I don't know. So I back in the day I did a psychology degree. I wanted to work for the Department of Child Safety. So I did my study and I went into the Department of Child Safety and got in there and went, this is not me. I can't do this. So I lasted like 8 months there, which I think is pretty long time for that job. And since that job, I was kind of jumping around between things, just trying to find where I fit. Didn't really work. Then I had my first child. That was 9 years ago. And I think from the day she was born, there was no way. I think I was working full-time for the council, actually. It was actually a really good job when she was born 9 years ago. But after 1 year, which I only got 1 year leave, excuse me.
I'm actually surprised that Clodagh's not here.
She can't get out. And my husband's like, what are you doing? She's locked in there. Could you unlock her? Okay. Sorry, guys. So where was I? Back in so I had a full-time job and I got 1 year off, and I was not going back to work when she was 1. You'll have to find it. Trinity, I'm on. I wasn't going back to work because my precious child was so important to me. There was nothing I was going to do to have her be in care or anything. And I know that people do that, and that's great, and I really support that, but I just couldn't do that. So we decided then that my husband, he has a fairly decent job, that I wasn't going to work. It is a bit of has always been a bit of a struggle. There's things that we don't do. We don't take long holidays. And then I think when my second one was born, this one here, when he was about 1, I just really needed to do something. I just needed to work but still be there for my kids. And I think I found it on Instagram that I was looking for budget things, and I found that people buy stuff to resell, and I went, oh, that's a really good idea. So that started that journey 3.5 years ago. And Charlie hit me up one day, said, hey, we're doing a mum's chat. Do you want to come on? I'm like, oh, okay. I'm a bit of an introvert, so I really didn't want to. But I went, you know what, I have to, because it is lonely when you're doing reselling without other people around. So I think that just started that ball rolling, and here we are today.
I think putting yourself out there as well.
Talk about my kids tonight. Sorry about that.
I think putting yourself out there as well, gives confidence to other mums that maybe are in the same situation, and they see the reality of your life and all of your lives, and gain confidence from that. So I think what you guys are doing is pretty amazing, and I'm really happy that you guys have put yourself out there and sort of created that community around yourself, because I think it's only going to grow, and the more support that you guys get is going to be awesome.
I think Robin has come in leaps and bounds from when we first talked. Robin was quite shy, and every time I said something, she was a bit like, oh, I don't know. But I just kept pushing Robin, join in, come in, have a chat.
It will happen.
Yeah. Sam used to actually chat to us, because we used to do a video chat every Friday morning, and Sam would be in the office and she would be just ducking outside to have a quick chat to us, or eating her lunch while she's talking to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's sort of like what Kara's saying, community over competition.
Definitely. Yeah.
Because you're going to learn off each other the more you talk to each other. So I had a
Yeah, early on. Oh, sorry.
Right.
I was just going to say early on in our chats when we were before we went online, I asked these ladies, I'm like, now if I have a bad day, or if I have a really good day, are you okay for me to tell you? Like, or is that going to make you upset if you're having a bad day? And we just went, you know what? No, we're going to be open. And I personally find it, if I'm having a crap day but someone has had a good day, I find it really inspiring. Like, oh, I've got to keep going and I've got to keep listing. So we had that conversation pretty early on, not like, oh, I'm going to hide my numbers from you so you don't feel bad. Or you
no,
don't,
we
like,
don't.
We just
show each other everything.
I think
that's
that
really good.
the more you lift each other up and the more you provide support to each other and encouragement, then all of you benefit. Right? Like someone's having a bad day and then someone says, oh, I tried this and it worked, then everyone tries it and it all works. So it's kind of like it's like the upskill of everybody at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Let's take our friends with us.
I had a question, and this kind of comes back to the reselling side of it. So I guess for you guys, why reselling? Like, what was the trigger that was like, that's what I'm going to do? Obviously, there's a lot of other side hustles out there. And what is, I guess, has reselling given you the opportunity to do what you want to do? Obviously, we're all not where we want to be long term, but you guys are working towards things and building your stores all the time. So, yeah, like, why reselling?
So I've tried 2 other things before when I've been on maternity leave. So the last 2 maternity leaves, or maybe the 3rd and 4th, I tried different things. So I bought business names. I wanted to do like environmentally friendly gift hampers for a while there. So I bought a business name and a domain, and I was looking into all that and finding suppliers. And then the next time I just was looking at doing my own little communications consultancy, because that's, what I would do for a day job. But both times I just didn't, it was too big a leap to go off and do that. Whereas when I learned about reselling, it was something that I could just start so small. And I did just start so small. I initially invested $500 and I paid myself back straight away, like paid the family budget back, because my husband was like, what on earth are you doing? And that's our money. So I paid it back straight as soon as I earned that much. And then it just sort of built up. And I think it took about 4 or 5 months for me to go, yeah, this could be a plan B. And I started calling it plan B. And then I started calling what I was doing full time my day job. So I really did this shift where that became the day job and reselling became what I did. And for me, it's working really well for now. Like I was saying even to Charlie today, so I went to Sydney yesterday. So I had yesterday by myself and then met up with Charlie today. And yesterday I didn't get a lot of stock. And so I'm in that middle stage now between if I push harder, it's time for wholesale, it's time for bulk lots, it's time for all that. But there's logistics in that. There's probably more stress in that. There's more. So, but I'm frustrated that when I don't source enough. So I don't know. For me, it's been working quite well. I'm pretty close to the weekly number I want to hit. Like I can see it. But then I have to make some decisions. But again, I don't want to rush into that. So that's sort of how I found it. It's meeting at the end at the moment. And we'll see. We'll see in the future. And having these 2, also all of the reselling mums and all of you guys, like I've been so supportive in the community. It's been amazing. But like I had a really bad week last week and these 2 just pep me up. Like just pep me up. Just, yeah. Charlie?
Yeah.
What was the question?
You went to sleep while I was talking, didn't you?
I'm joking. Why reselling? I don't know. I think because it's easy as well, and it's something that you don't really need to think about. I didn't start with any money. I just started. I put a message out to all my friends, said, this is what I'm going to do. I'll sell your stuff for you, and we can just go 50-50, and that's what we did. And then I got kicked off Facebook Marketplace because they're crap. And that's when I moved over to eBay. And then I was like, I started following people on Instagram and you guys, and then watching a few YouTube videos. And then I realized, people go to secondhand shops and pick up stuff and then sell it for more money. That's simple. I'm sure I can do that too. So I did it. And yeah, here I am.
I think,
and it's helped me to be at home with the kids. Just haven't been here in the afternoon when the kids get home at 3 o'clock or 3:30, just to say hi, instead of me coming in at 6 o'clock, stressed out of my head with the baby hanging off my arms, saying, "Oh, what's for dinner? Quickly get this done, get the bath done. Where's Dad? Where's this?" Just the house is a lot calmer now than what it was 3 months ago. Just to have me here. Not saying it's cleaner. I'm not saying all the washing is done.
No,
it's calmer.
we're just calmer. That's all.
Yeah.
We're just not too bothered.
I think one thing that you both said there is like reselling the barrier to entry is almost nothing, right?
It's zero.
You can start with literally nothing and build it to whatever you want. And a lot of people are showing that with the $5 challenge as well, of how much you can turn that into. So I think it's a great option for, you know, mums at home that maybe don't have a lot of spare cash laying around or don't have a lot of time. They can do bits and pieces when they can. And I want to touch on that in a bit because I know that you guys put something out about that recently. But Robin, you kind of touched on your why a little bit because you wanted to sort of do something. But reselling, was there any other stuff?
Well, I think reselling, only because I found it, but also I had my son with me full time when I started. And even though it wasn't very productive, I could take him in a pram to an op shop and pick up a few things and then list them when he was asleep. So it was something that I could do while still looking after my children. You know, like now it's something that, because I, you know, built it a little bit, it's something that I can, if my kids are sick, I can just drop eBay for 2 days. And you know what, it might drop a little bit, but it's still there when you come back. I don't have to ring anyone. I don't have to make any plans. So that side of it is really good. Like if if someone wakes up in the middle of the night and I'm trying to work, I can just put the work aside. It doesn't really matter. So I think that's why. I think also that first big sale you get, that I get. It was my first auction when I bought something for $8 and it sold for $70, which isn't that much, but when you first start, you're like, oh my god, that's awesome. That adrenaline rush.
And do you actively recommend reselling to other mums? Is it something that you go, hey, have you thought about trying this?
Yeah,
definitely.
So
I've
the thing is that you've had it a few times, Robin, but the thing is that we all know as resellers it's no easy job. It's not like you just take a picture, stick it up, and sells for hundreds of dollars. It's not the case. Right. And a few mums I've recommended it to, they have started it and then they've gone, oh, do you want this stuff? Because it's too much work. So I think you need to have that little bit of drive as well. And a bit of passion for it. Otherwise, why would you store all the secondhand stuff in your garage? Why would you do that?
I'm at my brother's house right now. So I think most people know that Relove Pre-Love are my brother and his wife, Grant and Lee. And Sophie, my niece, may run it at any point. And I recommended it to them. So Lee won't mind me share, I'm sure. She works 3 days a week and she doesn't want to work more than 3 days a week in her job because she wants to spend time with Sophie. And I was like, doing this might just be that bit extra where it makes up for, because there's extra expenses of having a child, plus you're not getting the pay you got when you're working full time. It might just help cover that gap. And of course, they've gone nuts with it and they're better than me, which is great. I'm happy for them. So I don't know if there's anyone else that I've really spoken to about, but I absolutely would. Because you can pick your scale and there's not many things where you can pick how much you want to do.
I actually recommend it to my mum because she's got some health problems, so she can't work like a full-time job. Like she needs to be able to do her own hours and at her own pace. And I said, you need to get into reselling. Like, what are you doing? Like, I put out all these videos for you. Like, all you have to do is watch them.
Just watch my stuff.
But they live in a remote community, so they have their own struggles involved. But she hasn't taken it up yet, but she will flick me a picture here and there and is like, oh, would this resell? I'll get it for you. I'm like, yep. So she's on the train. I did have a question coming from inside Sam's current So I think this is a good one. How do you find sourcing with kids? I can go on Mondays when I'm off and Sophie's in daycare, but Saturday sourcing is only done thanks to an iPad and all the snacks. Let's start with Sam.
Me.
Yeah.
All my kids are at school. So, but I do, like obviously I'm currently away from home. So I, about every 3 weeks, I think, every 3 or 4 weeks, I go to Sydney. And then down the coast where I am now. And I do big sourcing trips. And part of that is because I can just line it up. Like I made 2 dinners before I left home. I had my son's school clothes out for a couple of days. I get everything done at home. My husband's great at getting stuff done, but he just, I just let him know all the things he needs to do. And then I just go away. And I go off and get this done. So I'm available the rest of the time. But, my son, is in school, so I'm lucky that I can source during the day, and that's not a problem, unlike my compadres.
And Charlie, you got
I don't source on a Saturday. I just don't do it. Clodagh's in daycare Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I used to source on a Saturday when she was little in the pram, and I'd be able to get away with it for a few hours after feeding her and whatnot. But I just don't do it. I go Wednesday, and I do usually a big trip to Sydney, and I stock up as much as I can by then. And then I do a few little ones on Tuesday or Thursday, Friday if I need to. Or sorry, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Just not worth it for me.
I could imagine it'd be a bit of a battle trying to drag
them out. Last time I took the kids sourcing on a Saturday was to Salvos, and I had Aoife and Kaden with me, and Kaden was going wheeling up the aisle in a wheelchair. Aoife was coming in some sort of crutch, and Clodagh was just like running like some sort of feral cat around the place. I was like, that's it, we're done. Everybody out in the car. So it doesn't happen.
The worst
we
one
struggled with someone else's screaming child today at the bins, didn't we, Charlie? Like there was this other kid going off, and we both looked at each other and said, time to pull out. Like that's when your kids are little and you come here and they lose it, you go.
Yeah, time to go.
I've had to step around a few kids throwing tanties here and there in the op shops. I haven't envied the parents, so I could only imagine.
What you were going to say it was me.
Oh, well. Robin, what about you? Any hot tips for sourcing with kids?
Yeah, I used to take my son, but see, he's been at kindy for the last 2 years, which means that I've been able to go. And really, the best decision is to just go when you don't have them. Because although, say when I did have him, I would try like iPhone, with cartoons or whatever they liked. I think at one point he was interested in garbage trucks, so we'd watch videos of garbage trucks on YouTube, snacks, make sure they're well fed. I would recommend leaving the toy aisle until last, because otherwise you're going to be stuck there the whole time. Be prepared to spend more on crappy broken toys than stock. So hard, it really is. I mean, babies, you could possibly do it if they're happy babies that sit quietly, but once they're mobile,
once they're 9 months, I reckon. Yeah,
really hard, isn't it?
So one of our friends the other day, she was shopping with her little one. I think he's 10 months, Charlie, and he had all the clothes on the pram, and the pram just went. It was fine.
Take the clothes to find the baby.
They're in the pram, and you like pile the clothes over their head. Sorry.
Like if I was a parent, that would definitely be me. So it's funny. Mara asked a good question here. Were you guys op shoppers before you went into reselling? And we'll ask the second part in a sec. So op shopping before reselling, was that a thing for any of you guys, Sam?
So not as much as it should have been, which doesn't make a lot of sense considering I'm so frugal, like I'm so cheap, and everything in I have so many recycled things in my house and my garden and things like that. But I used to do a little bit of op shopping for like fancy dress and things like that. But I didn't do it for just normal everyday stuff. Whereas now, my 18-year-old daughter goes, because that sort of age group, I think they do. But now our whole family goes op shopping. Like it's just so that's why I say one of the benefits of reselling is you just become aware of the need not to pay full retail and just how much gets discarded that's unused or barely used. And so, we do it a lot more now, but I wish I'd found it a lot younger. And I think that my kids are learning, and it'll save them a lot of money, as well as being better for the environment and all that sort of thing. I think that's one of those unintended consequences that's fantastic that you're passing forward.
Yeah, it is definitely.
Yeah.
Charlie, what about yourself?
Yeah, I was always an op shopper, and I used to think in the op shops like a few years ago, I'd find something and think, shit, that's worth a lot of money, but it didn't click with me then. It took a few years later before it actually clicked. And now, yeah, I've always been, even whenever I was in Ireland, I would always be in the secondhand shops.
That's awesome.
Better in Ireland or Australia?
Ireland and Australia. Is that what you asked me?
Which one's better? Which has better stock?
Oh, I don't know, 'cause, like, I haven't been there in so long, but I think in Ireland you would get a lot of Levi's, a lot of Wrangler, because I think back to when I was a teenager of how much Wrangler and Levi's jeans I would wear, and I don't even know where they were. Not that one would go over one of my legs right now, but yeah, for winter stock, I think back there would be good. But yeah, I think I like here as well. You have a lot of stuff here.
Ireland and Australia.
Yeah, same answer.
Don't ask me to choose. I can't.
Robin, were you an op shopper before you became a reseller?
Shopped. Ever, never. Yeah, I think maybe I tried to at some point and went in there and kind of went, oh, there's nothing here, and then never went back to an op shop. So that was definitely a barrier when I wanted to be a reseller. I'm like, where are the op shops? What do I look for? do they still exist? No, I think I've seen some, but yeah, no, definitely not. I had never bought anything. So yeah.
And the other part of Kara's question was, what's your best find you've found so far? Well, found for yourself, I think that was. What's the best you found for yourself?
That's a really hard question because I don't keep anything for myself, very rarely. And if I do find something, it's for the kids or for Jason. It's never for me. So I don't know. I don't know.
I always ask myself, do I want this more or do I want money?
The money. Which one? Money.
Yeah. I think
for me it was just work clothes because I'd found it while I was off. I'd started reselling while I was off and I was going back to work and I'd had quite a up and down weight period for a while and I was like, oh crap. And then I went there and just found all these great work clothes, like corporate clothes. You can get really good brand, nice corporate clothes in amazing condition. And I was like, who does this? So yeah, nothing exciting. I get a lot of candles and stuff like that. So just little things, little pretty little things that I like for myself. I like to buy some jewelry and stuff like that. Yeah, nothing too big.
I think that very early on, Mossy was asking what you sell in particular and what's your favorite thing to sell if you're niched down.
I would happily just sell jeans and shorts all day, every day. I just find they work best with my systems. Like everything's easy for me with those. So yeah, I mostly do clothes. I'm trying to get more hard goods, but yeah, mostly a mix of women's and men's clothes.
Could photograph denim all day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie?
Mine would be dresses. I sell a fair bit of dresses and it seems to be the first thing that I naturally go to, and when I go there I seem to they jump out at me. So dresses would be mine.
Dresses isn't high on my pick list. I think
I can imagine.
It'd probably be a potato sack, but
I love looking at them. So
you should. Charlie found a dress today that she's going to auction off.
Yeah.
Charlie.
That was a good find. I've been telling the universe that I want a unicorn for a long time, and today I picked up a review unicorn, size 16, so it's a really good size as well. And then I sent it to the girls in the group, and they all start, because some of the girls in our group, they're big review queens, and they all started losing their minds. So I was like, okay, this is something. This is good.
Charlie showed me, and she's like, what do you think? And I was like, oh, that's gorgeous, and it's in really good condition. It's $25. Yeah, I'd get it. I had no idea it was a unicorn, like no idea. And that's the collective. You show someone else, and they're just like, oh my gosh, that's like a
I saw the comps on that up on your Instagram, and I just about fell over it.
I know, just for a single dress, some of the dress prices that you can get are crazy. Like I've picked up a few Gorman dresses as well, and they go nuts as well. People just.
I think Cara is all over because she does that a lot. So
yeah, she finds gems all the time.
Yeah, I just saw her glow mesh bag that sold for $100. I think she's doing pretty well, Cara. Pretty good idea.
Robin, what about you?
What do I sell? I sell mostly women's clothing, just anything I can find. I've been trying to branch out to men's clothing. I don't particularly like hard goods because I don't have a lot of storage space. Occasionally I will pick something up, but yeah, I think I've really decided now that that's not my thing. I sell books. I think that's pretty much it. Nothing too exciting.
Yeah.
And we tried to do a thing, didn't we? Like about 2 months ago, ladies, where we were like men's shirts. We're gonna all look for men's shirts. We didn't have a fun week. Like none of us love men's shirts. It was just
so good. Oh my god.
I think you got to find those niches that you like selling in, because there's plenty of money sitting on the rack there, but if you don't like selling it, you're never going to get to it, are you? And it's just going to sit there.
I've got a box of men's shirts sitting out there, and they'll sit there for I don't know how long. And I know there's money in that box, but I just do not want to open it. So I'm like, I just cannot be bothered. I have to steam them. I have to lay them down. Nah, stay there.
I think eBay marks you as a seller of certain things, so that because we don't normally sell men's shirts, we put some up and they just don't get any traction. Whereas I put up women's shoes or something like that, and they all sell quickly because I think eBay's like, oh, yep, you're a shoe seller, you're up the list.
Yeah. You're on the list.
I think your store does get in that sort of rhythm and hits the algorithm. Yeah, I think it would take a while for someone to change categories completely and do well in it. Yeah. So we're at 46 minutes. So I want to talk to you guys, and we're probably going to miss out on half the questions we have.
Shazad has a great one.
All right, we'll do Shazad's question because I think it is important. What is the worst advice you've been given? And then subsequently, what's the best advice you've been given? So we'll start with Sam.
So I saw this one when he put it, so I'm glad I had a bit of thinking time. I think when it comes to reselling, I was told personally, and I also heard other resellers talk about it, about like start really slow. Like the only way is to start really slow. And that's not what I did. And I think for some of us, you might have done a lot of your thinking and your planning before you really start too much. And there's no, like, I'm not saying everyone should go gung-ho. I did. And it was proof of concept. So because I went right into it and just went, I'm going to throw everything and see what happens. So I did work full-time at work and then a lot of hours on eBay as well. But for me, like, I'm not going to be limited by someone saying to me, you need to, don't go too hard, start slow, do step by step. That's not me. That's not how I work. And if this was going to work for me, I had to be able to go bull at a gate because that's just how I do life. And probably why I get stressed, but and that worked really well for me. And so I think you have to know yourself and your approach. And it's good to get advice from others, but they're not you and they don't know what you want, what you've got in you. I have an enormous amount of drive. I'm tired, but I have an enormous amount of drive, and I knew that I could capitalize on that. So, and Lita's saying they didn't start slow either. They did not start slow.
No, they didn't start on the challenge either, and they ended up right near the top. So, I think that's good advice, like knowing what's going to work for you, and like using advice to your advantage, but not always using it as gospel. So, conversely, what's the best advice that you've been given on your journey so far?
Best advice? Probably I don't know if it's advice, but certainly just connecting in and engaging with people, and just the richness that's in the reselling community, how much you can learn from everyone. I think just being a bit brave. We want a lot of mums to come and talk to us in our chat. We know that it can be scary, but what you get out of it is just so worth it. We're not scary, no. But talking in public or even joining a public chat, on the sidebar can be scary, but it's absolutely worth it. It pays off.
Oh, massively. Like even like on our journey, the people that have taught us things by just talking to them, because you don't know what someone else knows until you talk to them about it. So I think that's a massive up there. Charlie, what's the worst advice and what's the best advice you've been given?
That's a really hard question. I was trying to think of something while Sam was talking. I think when I first started reselling was everyone told me not to tell other people what you're doing and not to tell other resellers what you're doing either, which I thought was a bit stupid anyway, and only to stick to size 6s and size 8s. And I remember that conversation, and I was thinking, oh, I've got no size 6 and size 8 clothes, so there's me screwed. And yeah, and as soon as I got that advice, and that person that told me that says that's the best advice you're going to get, and I was like, okay, I'm going to take that, and I'm just going to throw it out. But thanks anyway.
Yeah.
But the best advice I've ever gotten was, I don't know, I think it was just connecting with people, and 100 different people, 100 different people.
Reseller, Cara.
Yeah. Another reseller, Cara. Yeah, I think my best advice was just talking to everybody and gathering information, not information, but like bouncing ideas off each other and seeing what worked for them, and then I'd try it, it wouldn't work for me, and I think just people that helped me.
Yeah, I think that genuine connection is a huge thing, because the people that you genuinely connect with, you're naturally going to give more to them. So you naturally open up and you naturally tell them more about your business, and hopefully it helps each other, because
yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah.
And not just sell this size, but I sell this size and it works because.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can tell you now, size 6 and 8 did not sell for me.
Yeah, I think I'd over my foot, to be honest. But Robin, what's the worst and best advice you can give?
Worst advice? I don't know if anyone's given me advice.
I think they would be hard to give Robin advice.
I don't know. Maybe I just
we
don't
told us
talk
to do international post, and that didn't go well. So
She doesn't take advice. It doesn't matter.
I take it on board. I just don't always follow it. But like in the reselling journey, I guess because I kind of did it my own way for a very long time without even, connecting with anyone. I was behind the scenes. Like I saw your very first video. I was around then. I probably didn't comment on it. I didn't do anything.
I do remember you from like the early days, like just sort of like the community.
Yeah, I was there, but I just wasn't out there.
You, like come out of your shell and like take on this this channel and this chats you're having. So yeah,
we haven't even talked about.
Yeah, that's coming next.
My goodness.
Yeah, so I think because I haven't put myself out there, I haven't been given advice, which, you know what, is good in a way. I just have done my own thing, and, it's all been fine, I guess. Good advice. I followed lots of people. Good advice. I don't know. I might need to think longer on that. I'll get back to you.
Watch our chat. She'll say it then.
But then
take what you need.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do what works.
Yeah.
So we've smashed through. So I do want to get to your the reselling mums chat, because that's what sort of wanted me to get you guys on the show, hopefully to get a few more people over there to support you guys and see the channel, blow up like I really think it will. So I want to hear from you guys and give yourself a bit of a pump up here. So the reselling mums chat on Thursdays, you guys are doing that. Obviously, the time's sort of shifting around depending on how busy you are, which is part of your guys' lives. Part of your reality. So let's talk a little bit about that. I have dropped all your links in the description, even Sam's Instagram, because Sam's refusing to do a YouTube channel. But I've dropped all your links in the chat. So if anyone wants to head over to any of these people in the description, the links are in there. So check them out.
Do it.
We're on my channel this week.
Yep.
And we haven't picked a time yet.
That's fine. That's
okay. We haven't. We're on Robin's channel this week.
After this, so we will pick a time because we'll need to put the time on the. Yeah, but we're talking about how many hours we work, because we've been tracking the last week, and a number of people in the community, including some non-mums, which has been cool, like some non-parents as well, have just gone, I should probably do that. I might try. And so we're going to be talking about our last week and how many hours we've been working this week. But Charlie, do you want to do the overall plug? Because you're the
overall plug. No, Robin. Robin's the driving force this week. We're on Robin's channel this week. I think we'll probably be around about the same time as last week. We all downloaded an app. It was a free app. You can do up to 5 different categories in it. It's called Ours, and I don't know what it is on Android. So we all put what we do in there: post, sourcing, listing, etc. And we just track, and that's what we're going to talk about this week. I think my hours work this week is 0.
So check us out.
Drew's one of the non-parents I was talking about. That's awesome, Drew.
Yeah, I think it's something that, you know, a lot of us don't really think about, and it's something that I'm not really aware of at the moment because I'm still working full time, YouTubing, and trying to help Jazz with the eBay as well. So it'd be interesting to see where that all does fall.
I'm scared to see it.
And I know that Jazz would be right up there because she spends a lot of time keeping our business afloat. So it's interesting to see, and I'm really interested in the other things that you guys are going to be talking about. So do you have sort of a series planned, or are you just going to sort of go off the cuff each week and come up with something new? And
I think we can't. Yeah, I think that we can't really plan out 4 months' time. This is what we're going to talk about, because that's not our lives. Like, it depends what really affects us the week before and what we've done to kind of combat that, to work through it. Especially with the school holidays one, that was a big struggle for me. And I think that's whenever we just says, right, that's it. We're going to do our YouTube chat, and we're going to let everyone know this is what it's all about, being a reselling mum. So we're just seeing what our struggles are the week prior, and then kind of work up to that.
Yeah.
And we want to hear from other mums. Sorry, Jazz. We want to hear from other mums as well, and dads, and anyone, but, like, you know, particularly mums is our focus. That what they're struggling with, or what they would like to just talk about, like what's a topic of interest. So I guess we don't want it to be too. It's just a chat. It's a relaxed chat, and it's just to get together and engage, not to dispel, like, pass out some amazing info that'll change your business. That's there's plenty of that out there, like you guys and others who've got that covered. We just want to get mums together and spend some time
and get through the day.
Often those chats, though, like, even if you don't think you're providing some sort of inside information, you are, like, just naturally by talking to people, you're going to let things out that someone else doesn't know about or will learn from. So just having those conversations is a massive benefit to the community, regardless of, you know, if you're intentionally trying to provide.
Good point. And we're really happy. Sorry,
go ahead.
No, you go.
Even in Charlie's blog, when she had her breakthrough that if I come out here and work out here, I can get things done. You know,
those blogs are very off the cuff. Like, I do not plan those blogs. It's whatever's happening in the moment, and I just take my phone out and record it. So they can be a bit crazy.
Watch that and go, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of just...
Yeah, I have received so many messages from people on Instagram about my vlogs, and honestly, I had about 20 messages the other week just saying, thank you for being so real, thank you for being so honest. And that's what I want to be anyway. I just want to be real and honest. This is what it is.
No other way.
Yeah, I think that's what people come back for, is that reality of, you know, being a mum, trying to resell, trying to make ends meet, and trying to add some extra value to the bank account, really, because that's at the end of the day. So, I think it's going to be a great chat ongoing, and I'm really happy that you guys got up and you know, started doing it, because I think it's only going to grow. And if everyone can head over on there on Thursday and show their support, don't be afraid to say hello, because as they said, there's always people in the chat that sort of are listening, and it's great to see communities build around these sorts of channels. So head over.
Want to reach out, like, message us on Instagram, like, if you just want to start chatting that way as you put your toe into the water of the reselling community. Like, we're very happy to have that. Or if we do say something that's of interest and you think, what was that, what did they mean, like, just reach out to us, because I know I certainly from Brad and Jazz have got a huge amount of information over the last sort of year or so, and a number of other resellers. So if there is anything we can help with, I know we're all very open to doing that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Awesome. All right, guys. One last thing before we go. What's the best advice you can give? Well, we don't want to say advice because we know advice can go either way. But if you were to have to sell reselling to a mum, what are the things that you would tell them are the greatest advantages about being a reseller, and why should they get into it?
Do you want to go, Sam?
I think Robin... I think Charlie and Robin both sort of said a little bit earlier, the fact that you can pick it up and drop it when you need to. I had a child home every day last week, ill, and they're different ages. They need different things from me, but you can just make it work around your life. And like I said earlier about scaling it, you can do it really little. You can get a bit bigger. You can take it back down. Like it can just move to suit the pattern of your life whenever you need it to. And even if you do it just for a little bit of side money, I think that can be really good for your confidence and your self-esteem, because if you're just with kids all the time, that can get a bit tough. We love them dearly, but this could be yours. This could be your thing that you do, and you can do it as much as you want or as little as you want.
What a pet.
It's like we told the lady today at one of the op shops we were at. I connected with her a few weeks ago, and we were able to kind of get out the back today due to just speaking to her. And we had a conversation today where she knows we're resellers, and I told her, look, I don't know if I'm going to do this in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, but right now for my life, it suits where I'm at. I'm able to do this for me. I'm able to make a little bit of money from it, and I'm able to have a social life, even if it's online for now. I think that for being a mum, because you can get so caught up when you're a mum, you can get so caught up with kids and kids' world, and it's all about the kids, and it can be quite mentally draining when it's like that. But then you have a little bit of reselling on the side, it can kind of, your mind can start to work in other ways.
Yeah. And being there for your kids is priceless, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Even for the dads as well, like even for dads that are doing this to support their families, like it's not just mums, like dads also go through the exact same struggles as what mums do, because there we go.
Come on in, Daryl. Very welcome.
Daryl. Everyone's welcome. It's not just mums, it's dads too.
Yeah, Brad did that awesome dad's reselling chat a little while ago.
So I was watching that.
They brought a really good take on it from their angle as well, and it is like both sides of the coin. Is like dad can do this as well, but tonight we wanted to talk about your life as reselling mums. So we really appreciate you guys coming on, and we really wish you the best of luck for the future on the YouTube channels and reselling in general and life in general. But thanks to everyone that's come along and shown support tonight. Make sure you head over to Robin's channel on Thursday for the next chat, and then they'll cycle over to Charlie's the week after. I might even be able to catch it this week because I've got Thursday off, so I'm hoping I'll be able to jump in the chat. Last week I was struggling because I was at my desk and I was like, I'm going to get in trouble here. So be a bit careful.
Don't get sacked.
Have one reseller to say happy birthday to.
Happy birthday to Zach as well. It's his birthday.
Happy birthday, Zach.
So congratulations on another year, Zach.
He's one of the awesome reselling dads. You know,
he is an awesome reselling dad.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. You guys can
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time. I know you guys are busy. Stick around
for your support, guys.
Yeah, thanks for promoting us. It's awesome.
No worries at all. Thanks for joining us. Stick around. We'll have a chat afterwards. But thanks for the chat for coming along. We will see you. Well, we've got a busy week coming up. So Friday we have car boot sale video coming out.
Ooh.
And Sunday we have a live chat with Primetime Treasure Hunter.
On Thursday.
Yeah, we will see you guys on Thursday. Bye, guys.